Hey, what's good, YouTube? Mike here with another reaction video. I'm a former major label recording artist and LA session guitarist with a passion for great music of any genre. So just sit back and enjoy, because today we are checking out Tim Minchin's Rock and Roll Nerd. Tim Minchin is an English-Australian musical comedian, composer, and actor. He is a vocal supporter of reason, science, and secularism. He has won many awards and honors for his work. So hit the like and subscribe buttons for more content like this. And without further ado, let's see what Tim Minchin's got to say. Oh, here, let's get this. Great piano player.
He doesn't have a problem with drugs. He just doesn't get them. He's fine that his mates have tattoos, but he thinks they'll regret them. He likes going to pubs, but he hates it when the music's too loud. He tends not to go to rock concerts 'cause he can't stand the crowds. But all he's ever wanted to be is a rock star on Rage or MTV. But he knows that it's not fucking likely. He just turned 30. He knows that he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep writing songs the world will never hear, and though they won't be heard, he'll just keep writing. Oh yeah, but you see, the problem is he always dreamt of being a star.
So this is funny so far. He's talking, so Rock and Roll Nerd, I guess it's about a guy on the outside of the scene looking in, who doesn't seem to fit in with the with all the rock and roll cliches like drugs and tattoos and stuff. So yeah. So I would say he's probably talking about himself, even though he's talking about a person in third person. I would think he's talking about himself. So this is an interesting setup so far. Let's see where he takes this.
But you see, the problem is he always dreamt of being a star, but he learned piano instead of guitar, which in the 90s didn't get you very far. So while the other kids were learning Stairway, he was the piano to their forte. But he was convinced one day he'd rock their fucking asses, be an icon for the disenfranchised masses, and grow his hair long.
So that was the idea of rock and roll stardom in the 90s, I guess, was being a hero to the disenfranchised. That was very much a 90s a 90s trope, I guess.
The disenfranchised masses, grow his hair long and rebel against the state. But just for now that'd have to wait, 'cause he's running late for his morning classes, and he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep playing gigs that no one knows about, and though it sounds absurd, he'll just keep playing. Oh yeah, but you see, the problem is there's not much depth in what he's singing. He's a victim of his upper middle class upbringing, so he can't write about the hood or bling bling. So he sits and imagines his girlfriend is dead, to try and evoke some angst in his middle class head. Which is always fine at 9:30 when they go to bed, and he's not spent a single night in
I can't. It's hilarious to think that someone's problem is there isn't enough friction in their lives for them to write a good song. Oh, jeez, that's funny.
At 9:30 when they go to bed, and he's not spent a single night in prison. He has no issues with nutrition. He has no drinking problem and no drug addiction. drugs they put in chicken. And marijuana always tends to make him cough. He doesn't look good with his t-shirt off, and when he tries to act tough, you can tell he's tricking. While his mates will go out late, popping pills and having fun, he goes home and showers and gets a good 8 hours. He gets his thrills from his morning run, and while his mates will go on dates, taking speed and drinking cans of Jim Beam, he stays home and cooks, curls up with the book with the girl he's had since he was 17. Cause he's never really been part of the scene. Give him Guns N' Roses, he'll take Queen. He's more into Beatles than the Stones. He's more a Stevie.
Okay, so that's saying something. What he's talking about here is a defining feature of which side you fall on in the rock camp. So what did he say? This person, I'm guessing, is Tim, that he's singing about himself, kind of in third person here. That he would be the rock and roll nerd, possibly, you know. So he's doing Guns N' Roses, no, Queen. Prefers Queen, Beatles and Stones, Beatles. So sounds like he's going for it. It's a little, oh, okay. So maybe this character is more into the classy artness of it, right? Whereas maybe you would consider Guns N' Roses and the Rolling Stones to be, they connect with the emotion. They're not virtuosic like maybe you would find. You could make an argument that Queen and the Beatles have a virtuosity to their music, whereas the Stones and Guns N' Roses, less so. More about the emotion. Okay.
Cause he's never really been part of the scene. Give him Guns N' Roses, he'll take Queen. He's more into Beatles than the Stones. He's more Stevie Wonder than Ramones. And he's never round a panel.
Okay, well, I think this guy's got a good taste in music. I'm assuming this is Tim singing about himself in third person. So what was that last one? Over the Ramones? Stevie Wonder over the Ramones. Well, come on now. I love the Ramones, but this ain't no battle, right? Stevie Wonder wins every time.
Stones, he's more Stevie Wonder than Ramones. And he's never owned a panel van. He never shot a Pantera van.
Wait a second. What did he just say about I've never owned? Was it a panel van?
And he's never owned a panel van. He never shot a Pantera van.
Never shot a Pantera fan.
He doesn't know the difference between men.
Am I missing a story there? Did a Pantera fan get shot or something? No, that was Dimebag. Dimebag got shot by a fan. Or I guess it would be hard maybe to call that person a fan. But that's the story. Is that the reference? I don't know when this was shot. Was Dimebag even dead when this was shot?
Then the Stones, he's more Stevie Wonder than Ramones. And he's never owned a panel van. He never shot a Pantera van.
And I don't know what a panel van is, although I'm just going to assume it's a type of van. I'm not sure. What's rock and roll about a panel van?
Panel van. He never shot a Pantera van. He doesn't know the difference between metal and thrash. He couldn't tell you nothing about Axl and Slash. He likes Ben Folds and the Jackson 5. He knows all the words to staying alive. And though he wants to be all crunchy and cool, he spent 11 years at a private school.
Oh my God. So it seems this verse sounds like it's all the problems, like what's getting in the way of him being a rock star, because he likes all these things that aren't classically thought of as like hard rock or whatever. So he doesn't know the difference between, what was it, thrash and metal?
And though he wants to be all crunchy and cool, he spent 11 years
and though he wants to be raunchy and cool, he spent 11 years at a, did he say boarding school or private school?
to stay alive.
That's funny too.
Wants to be all crunchy and cool. He spent 11 years at a private school. So it don't matter how he tries. He cannot hide behind his rock and roll lies. Cause you've either got it or you don't. Yeah, you'll either rock it or you won't. You've either got it or you don't.
Okay, double time beat.
knows that his
Bridge.
music lacks depth, but it just can't be helped. He has nothing interesting to say, so he writes about himself. But he doesn't want to seem self-obsessed, so he writes in third person.
Oh my God. So I guess we have our answer about, or our confirmation that the song's about himself, but written in third person. I love how it took the whole song up till now has been a setup for that joke. That is brilliant.
So he writes in third person. In an attempt to seem more rock and roll, but he suspects it's not working. And deep in his heart he knows that he'll never be Silverchair or Eskimo Joe. And even if...
Okay, so this is from the 90s, obviously. Late, I'm guessing maybe 99. And I'll tell you what. I'm guessing that from the film quality, the setup, the production, the graphics on the intro when it started, all screams 90s. But that reference to Silverchair just clinched it. This is late 90s.
that he'll never be...
And I should mention, I played a show with Silverchair once. Where was it? Santa Barbara, California, I think it was. And yeah, they were still underage at that time. And yeah, so we never did meet them. They stayed on their bus all day and then got off their bus right when it was about time to play. And when they were done their set, went back on their bus. They didn't mix with anybody at all. And that's probably because they were kids, which is understandable. There was one thing, though. Here, a quick story about this girl in the crowd. So there was this, and you have to remember, I was a lot younger at this time, so sometimes girls liked me. And so this girl was standing in front of me, and she just decided that I was the shit that day or something. And she would, every time I would like look in her direction, she would just lose her shit and start screaming, ah, ah, ah. Losing her little mind, this poor little girl. And it went on like that. And then there was another band after, and I watched maybe Matchbox 20 or something was after. And so I was standing on the side of the stage watching Matchbox 20, and this girl is still looking at me, still like trying to get my attention and stuff. She's not even looking at Matchbox 20. She decided that she liked me. And then another band, I don't know, maybe Smash Mouth or something was after that. And then, and same, she's eyeing me up the whole time and screaming every time I look in her direction. And then Silverchair comes on stage. And I was feeling like by this point, I felt like, man, this girl's a super fan. I am the man. What I didn't know is all day she had all these cardboard signs made up for Daniel from Silverchair. And then I was standing on the side of the stage, and she holds up her card saying that she loves Daniel. And just then, as she holds up her sign, I come to the side of the stage to watch the show. And she notices me standing on the side of the stage, and she can't decide whether to hide the sign because, anyways, I pretended like I was very upset, and I stormed off. And I came back a couple minutes later laughing, but funny nonetheless. All right. Speaking of funny, Tim Minchin is cracking me up. Here, I'm going to come back just a little bit. I want to grab that whole... I need to get that, what do you call it? The bridge. Or I guess in North America we would call that the bridge. In England, and I'm not sure about Australia, probably Australia as well, they would call this the middle eight, which is also acceptable. If you said middle eight in North America, we would know what you meant. But bridge is a different thing, because you call the pre-chorus the bridge in England anyways. So that's why sometimes there's confusion when a North American says bridge, because you're not sure if we mean the middle 8 or the pre-chorus, right? All right, sorry. A little aside there. Let's get back to Tim.
Himself.
I need to get that joke again. That was too funny. The third person joke was...
He has nothing interesting to say, so he writes about himself. But he doesn't want to seem self-obsessed, so he writes in third person. In an attempt to seem more rock and roll, but he suspects it's not working.
I love the delivery. The delivery there is so perfect. Like he actually seems a little upset.
More rock and roll, but he suspects it's not working. And deep in his heart he knows that he'll never be Silverchair or Eskimo Joe. And even if he was quite pretty with small pants like Kylie, he knows that he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep writing songs the world don't care about. Though it sounds absurd, he'll just keep writing. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You can criticize.
We got the fog machine going now. Look at that. Now it's a rock show.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You can criticize him, but he
Good.
won't care, cause he wants to rock, and he will never be deterred. But he'll always be a fucked up little try-hard wannabe rock and roll nerd. Rock and roll
He ended with the he threw in the a little figure from Stairway to Heaven, which he had brought up earlier in the song. Here, check it out. Right there. Let's see how much he did. Okay. He'd been doing that for a bit.
But he'll always be a fucked up little try-hard wannabe rock and roll nerd.
There he goes. So they went through like a whole, what do you call that? Do I have any? Yeah. So we went like, hey, listen. That's it. That was a pretty clever way of tying back a joke from earlier in the song. I mean, that's what do you call that? That's like a callback in comedy. I guess you call that a callback. There we go. The rocks
with the sauna.
The inner rock star took over at the end there. Energy forced him up out of his piano bench there and forced him to jump up in the air for a big rock and roll ending. Well, this I don't know if I mentioned earlier in the video, so I have reacted to another Tim Minchin song before, and I think it was called The Pope or something like that, and I never did release that one. It's only in my members lounge, and the reason I didn't release that one is because every other word is the F word, and I didn't want to bring any YouTube heat down on myself. I just don't want to. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. So if you want to see that one, it was also hilarious, and that's in the membership lounge. And memberships are very cheap. They're like $1.99 a month. And I should also mention that this was a request by a member. member requests get fast-tracked. They requested this just yesterday, I believe. Yeah, it was yesterday. And here we are today, getting it done. Yeah, normally there's a list of about 80 songs. And so normally if you request a song, it'll go on that list of 80 songs. And it takes me a little while to get to it. But if you remember, next day, baby. That's how it works. Money talks, right? Isn't that what AC/DC said? Now I'm quoting AC/DC. There we go. That's the way to live. That's the way to live. Hey, if you made it to the end of the video, you got to drop a yo down in the comments. That's so that I know that you made it to the end. And, of course, that's very useful information, don't you think? Yeah, of course it is. So please do that. And, yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video because, you know, what joke was your favorite? What joke was your favorite? Yeah, I think, I'm trying to remember what my favorite now because they kind of go by so fast. Now I just kind of remember just finding it all funny. I'm trying to remember a specific instance now, and it's a little hard. Oh, well. Like I said, I'll be watching this a couple more times as well. Just to pick it out. Oh, I do know what my favorite one was. I like how he used the whole song as a setup for that third-person joke during the middle eight. I'm adapting to your terminology now. I hope you appreciate that. Okay? Middle eight. I'm calling it the middle eight. Even though I'm born and raised in North America, I'm going to call it middle eight for you folks. Okay? Hope you appreciate it. I said, oh yeah, maybe I said the yo thing too early now that in retrospect because we weren't at the end. Now you got to put a yo. If you made it to this part, forget about earlier. This is the spot where if you made it to here, you can put a yo. In fact, we better change it. Put a yo if you made it to this far because that way, how do I know if maybe you only made it to the first end? This is the second end. And I'm probably going on too long now. So, about time to go. Watch one of these two videos. Hit like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.